Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Professor T. Prasad is the Professor of Organizational Behavior at IIM Mumbai. Over the last 15 years, he has managed numerous institute-industry collaborative projects. He has worked in collaboration with corporate and government departments to advise them in the areas like organizational redesign, improvements and management development. Mandi sir, as he is fondly called by his students, embodies a simple yet powerful philosophy. Anything that helps you earn will make you learn. He is the creator of an entrepreneurial pedagogy called Mandi, which is popular across Indian higher education institutions and students. Let's get to know more about this from the man himself.
Hello everyone, Namaste. My name is Yogesh Brahmankar and I am the Innovation Director at Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell, and I welcome all of you to this Udyam Charcha at MIC AICTE. Today we have a fabulous guest with us, Professor T. Prasad, who is called as Mandi sir from Indian Institute of Management, Mumbai.
Thank you very much.
Welcome sir. I will not take too much time to introduce you, and all of us are very excited to understand. I am really excited to understand why you are called Mandi sir. This is very interesting because when Professor got connected to me, when he called me first time and we spoke, when he sent a message also, he himself typed a message that I am Mandi sir. This is something which is very interesting and exciting. So what is this Mandi sir and what is the Mandi concept?
The one of the biggest lacuna of the deficiency of higher education is that the curriculum, the subject, the Saraswati is not taken to the market, Angadi, Santa, Bazaar. The moment the knowledge, the information is being taken to the market, Santa, Angadi, Bazaar, the student grows. The release of classroom student into the market, Santa, Bazaar and Angadi is the most important innovation required across these 4 crore students studying in the India, not only in India, across the world. In such a case, the validation of their learning, whether they are learning or not, can be understood, because the purpose of education is to go to society, look at whether it is sach hai or jhootha hai. Satya Shodhana of what I learnt is validated, experimented, and this experimentation is not only being done normally but also in enterprising way, udyamik way. It's not only experiment but also an enterprising. The difference between Prayog and also Udyami is that in Prayog, the student is aware of what he is doing, consciously aware of his Prayog. अनुभव में ये भी नहीं होता है, अनुभव होने के बाद समझता है कि मैं किया बोल के. But in experiment, one is conscious what is doing it. In Udyam, it's not only somebody is conscious, but also is enterprising. Value creation is going to happen. When the student goes to the market with the knowledge, information which is being imparted in the classroom and want to test it, whether what he understood is right or wrong, it's needed. So we created a platform called Mandi, where if 500 MBA students are sent into the market, Mandi, Angadi, Santa, in a per day with a training of 10-15 days of backup, and they go there, meet the customer, propose products, talk to the competitors, get the value out of it, and they get the blessings of the customer. Mandi, Angadi, Santa is the ultimate thing for a politician, for a student, for a doctor, for a businessman, for anybody to grow. That is the समाज की एक बाग है. And we should make this 4 crore young, 5 crore young students to go to and validate in a weekly basis, on a daily basis, on a monthly basis and fortnightly basis. This is being done. There is a reason my students lovingly call me Mandi sir, and I accept it, saying that
Wonderful.
I take it as a best wishes and best blessing for my students.
And you use product like the product which is kept here. These
Yeah.
kind of products were used. Can you tell us about this product and other products? Why these were the products for the experiment Mandi?
Yeah, a student can go to market Angadi with any product, but we can choose an amazingly an innovative product. For example, we can choose a product which is not perishable, is far better than a perishable, a tomato rather than a vegetable, rather than a taking a product like this. So we picked up this thing. There are multiple criteria. For example, the students who come to us are very intelligent, GATE score, CAT score 99% is highest and the best brains they are. How to challenge such brains with such a challenging assignment, which they should realize that what they know is far superior and they should know what is the value of it. So we choose certain kind of products like that. Okay. For example, we choose mathematics products, learning tools, or maybe physics learning tools, or maybe chemistry learning tools, or maybe astronomy related kind of thing. For example, a student goes to the market, talk about a binocular, which two optics, how they join together to see a object, and how he should be able to talk to the uneducated persons, the importance of a ocular, basically the optimal, opti importance in terms of seeing a distant object, so that he explains to them in physics terminology. An auto driver understands, if my beta, my beti, if they understand physics, how they become better people. An MBA, a physics student has got a responsibility to explain to a common man in the market like that. So we picked up this kind of an astronomy related product, physics related. For example, this is a mathematics related product like that. For example, with this kit, one can do amazing kind of designs like this. For example, 3-dimensional models can be made with that. You can understand here is a cube which is being made. Okay, this can be used for algebra teaching. This can be used for teaching amazing kind of chemistry models, like chemistry models, which are formulas can be understood. For example, ammonia structure can be created. I am sure chemistry students can understand how ammonia, usually ammonia structure is only drawn on the blackboard, only 2-dimensional, never it is made 3-dimensional. So this is a kit which students are being given, and say that a salesman cannot do this job as good as an MBA engineering student can do it. And most important thing is, a student has got a responsibility to prove to the world that he knows the best. It should be validated from a common man, saying that what you know is right. Unless that validation is there, he doesn't deserve a degree. It's not that professor's mark sheet answers which is the validation. It is the common man's 100 rupees which he gives, saying that, sir, you taught me amazing mathematics. I want to have this product. You taught me the wonderful physics. I want to buy this product for my kit. So this is an algebra kit which talks about a plus b whole square, a plus b whole cube, a cube minus b cube. Usually these maths are not taught with that. That is the reason why a common man won't understand mathematics. It's not that they don't have brains. The deficiency is how maths is imparted for common man. Actually, anybody can understand mathematics. Mathematics is a logical game. Everybody has got a mind. Only thing is, such a simple kind of a kit, if it is being taken and talked to, it can make. So we picked up maths, physics, chemistry and astronomy. Of course, we can pick up any other kind of thing. For example, on engineering day, of course, it's an AICTE complex where it's an engineering place actually. On engineers day, we make the students to sell smallest engineering toy, so that he understands the engineering principles, as a salute to Sir MV, Mokshagundam Vishveshwaraya. Of course, you can garland him, you can also break a coconut, but engineers should not do such things for an engineer's day. Engineers should really enjoy and celebrate physics, math, science, technology, engineering. This is what they should celebrate. STEM they should really this thing. So, I make my students to sell on Engineers Day a simplest kind of a machine, a tool which you do. For example, simple nail cutter, engineering student can, a physics student can sell with an engineering product. Some people say that what is so great in nail cutter? Actually, one can draw the best principles of engineering out of a nail cutter. Most of the poor people on the roadside, I have seen in railway platforms, you see, a blind people will also be selling the nail cutters. Mumbai, Pune, I have seen many times like this, like that. But they don't teach, they don't explain, they cannot enumerate the physics principles in it. But there is an amazing kind of a physics principles involved in a small nail cutter. For example, what is the fulcrum? Where is the fulcrum of this particular tool? How do you put force? How do you get work out of it? For example, what kind of metal has to be used for a good, the nail cutter? What kind of sharpness? How do you measure it? All these kind of things is an amazing kind of concepts for a young students to understand, so that we don't import nail cutters from China.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful and great to know about. And you mentioned something very particular about that they should deserve their degree. And I heard that you met students to sell 5 lakh such pieces.
Yeah.
And I also heard about your concept of dustbin to garland, having so many assignments for different subjects. So can you elaborate us more about the dustbin to garland concept and a compulsory registration of a company for every student, that kind of concept which you have been practicing from last so many years?
Yeah, a wonderful question, and this actually brings to the crux of enterprising the higher education and also any education for that matter. The beauty here is that MBA, MCom, BBA, all these students, almost there will be at least around out of 4 crore students, there will be at least around 1 crore students, maybe around 85 lakhs. This population is going to be there. All these people are supposed to understand how to form a company, because most of these people are going to work with the companies. We made one simple rule that any student who is going through it, one should register a company, a real company. A lot of people say that we would like to have a mark company. No, don't make the mark company, make a real company actually. No, sir, there are a lot of problems will be there. No, there are no problems. A student can really go through the real problems, and these problems are not real. Actually, today, the government is trying to make the ease of doing business. This has to be understood by the students. Students should ask the government saying that there are the problem areas where we require quite improve, so that we can make more companies out of it. So, we made it compulsory for the graduate students, postgraduate students to register a company part of the curriculum. Unless you register a company, you don't get marks.
Oh.
And amazingly, most important thing you should understand is that intelligent, hardworking, with a mission to learn, these kind of a 1 crore students, when they register a company, completely their mind changes. We don't know whether the mind changes or not, but the ritual, this particular tantu we call it as, ritual is, can make it. So, we made it compulsory, and we got students who registered companies. Today, they become amazingly 1,000 crore company, 1,500 crore companies, they made it. So, I would like to give an example of one student, like, I'm proud of it like that. In Nagpur, there is a company called Indian Auto Gas. The gentleman 15-20 years back, 20 years back, he created a company with his hostel address, room number, when it's made compulsory. But once he made the company, he started thinking about saying that, what is my objective, why I made it like that. So, it gave him the direction saying that he has to run the company also. It's very natural like that. Indian Auto Gas company, the beginning came out, the gentleman's name is Rahul Gugalia. Today, he has got a 50-60 auto gas companies across the country, having around 1,000 crores plus business. Just maybe around 35-40 years boy. And you can imagine. The innovation when you are talking about is that small things, small measures leading to huge impact is innovation. It is not big changes making to small impact is not an innovation. Innovation is absolutely ulta. Small change leading to big, it's basically it's called lever. Physics you call it as lever. You just push a bit of it, the big things can come out of it like that. So, company registration is the simplest things which I would like to appeal to the all graduate and postgraduate colleges who are listening to this podcast on it, saying that you make it compulsory. It's just 1500 rupees, 2000 rupees for a partnership registration, maybe 3000 rupees for an LLP, and also private limited company maybe around 10,000-15,000 rupees. Today it's easy to do it. If you approach a CA, and I request the AICTE and also innovation cell saying that we can make it free for them if a student does it, and we can create around a 1 crore student registered companies which can immediately show them the direction. This is one aspect. Unless you register a company, you don't get marks and students follow it. Number one. Number two, in a 2 years of gap of graduation and post graduation, students do lot hard work. They do assignments. They do laborious work. The issue is that why not harness all that hard work and create a value out of it? Actually, the parts of these assignments which are being done, if you put together and put it as a mala into that, into a quilt we call it as. I don't know whether you heard in Marathi what you call as. In Telugu we call it as bonta. The patches which are being put together, a grandma makes a wonderful warm blanket, she makes it, which we call it as quilt. So, a student startup is a quilt made out of the number of assignments which put together. For example, an MBA program in a 30 courses in a 5 modules, all faculty will give assignments, but only the problem is that each assignments at the end of the assignment, once the assignment is over, and this assignment has never linked with the other assignment. Wow. The biggest is convergence. When converge in between the values created, the whole togetherness, we should be able to come together is the whole issue. When one assignment converges with the other assignment, other assignments, the beauty of evolution takes place like that. How come these 30 assignments cannot be taken out of one big basket, a book, a unit called startup? So, each assignment when related to the other and it is connected to the other, usually the whole startup will be coming out. So, my point here is that one of the lean startup principles is that no wastage. No wastage. 4 crore students, they are intelligent, they are hardworking, they are doing the work. Question is that can you harness all this work into, every student has got a 30. If the 2 students are there, 60 assignments. If 3 students are there, 90 assignments. You can imagine the beauty of kind of companies can be created. I request the Innovation Council to look into this particular matter in terms of saying that every student should register a company, create assignments out of it so that they are converged and a student can understand why these 30 subjects are being taught to them, how these 30 subjects are being converged. A dish becomes a biryani becomes. A company is a biryani where there is a value out of it like that. But if 30 parts are separately being made, it's just useless, waste. So, by playing with these assignments, we can amazingly change the whole higher education. It's quite an amazing possibility. I have seen these kind of companies came out. Lawton is one company which came out of it. Cashify is a company which came out. Cashify, Mandi Manocha is my student. He is a today unicorn across the country. And the gentleman created a company called Reglobe. And this company became an amazingly a unicorn. Lawton, the gentleman is Maneet Gohil. Along with there is one more gentleman called Sacheti. These two students created a company, Lalton, in the classroom, and it became today it's a big international export. Today they are doing business with Japan. For example, a Jaika Ka Tadka, a company which is a cooking company platform by Aparna Handa, is today easily a 1,000 crores company.
Oh.
Similarly, Dealshare is by a gentleman called Saurjendu Medda. He's a unicorn. So he created a company in the classroom. He went to the Mandi and बेच के आया था. So our Nara is बेच के सीखो, सिखाई बेच के सीखो, पढ़ाई की खर्चा, पढ़ाई में पढ़ाई से पढ़ाई के लिए, पढ़ाई की खर्चा, पढ़ाई में पढ़ाई से पढ़ाई के लिए निकालो. This becomes an Atmanirbhar Bharat. It becomes a self-reliant education where these students don't require jobs. Actually, if they automatically get jobs, and further they say that हमारे लिए जरूरी नहीं है jobs, we would like to give you jobs.
Wow.
So the imagination of the enterprise India, startup India is this Atmanirbhar Bharat. Higher education can show the road map for this country.
What a wonderful concept of making assignments and having a guideline. So before moving to next question, sir, my next question goes on your background. So you come, I understand that you come from a very humble background of being a tailor to an IIM professor, and then becoming popular as Mandi professor, wearing this very peculiar cap. So can you tell us more about your background? Because it's like when you explain about knitting the things, and so how this background comes in picture and your views on it.
The whole education is basically convergence. Like, can I meet the other person is basically the purpose of education. So socialization we call it as. मैं दूसरा आदमी से मैं हाथ मिला के आंख में आंख डाल के बात कर सकता हूँ. This is the purpose of education. When we meet other people, only this society can happen. At the same time, we'll also explore ourselves. Qualifications we get it, value creation can happen like that. So I come from a common, simple, आम जनता का आदमी हूँ. I come from a rural, a kind of uneducated family. My parents are just coolies. We never had any education in our family for the last 400 years probably. So nobody even knows even alphabets out of it. And we are basically, street, गांव में हम सिलाई करते थे. And I can stitch your pant shirt within 3-4 घंटे में like a hand gag डाल देता हूँ. And I made hundreds of dresses like that. From school to college, almost from a womb, we know what is education. Probably before born, I think I was listening to this particular, the machine sound which is happening. My mother is a good tailor. So she could take care of 4 people in the family in terms of. So I learned tailoring as a primary school student. I used to do stitching kind of thing. Kata, kaza, button, hemming and iron. These are all very common things for me. So after intermediate, I stopped for 1 year, perfected my tailoring, and I said that I want to be, I cannot get a support from the family. If I have to support my education, I have to work as a tailor. So 1 year I broke, I stopped my education, got a good hands-on experience of this thing and went for BCom, MCom and also PhD later on. I supported all my education working as a darji, and I'm proud of it.
Wonderful.
But the more important thing is that, of course, I got a good support from Government of India and also state government as a scholarships, but they are insufficient. Please understand. You ask any auto wala, anybody saying that, sir, बहुत problem है घर में बोलते बोलता. Why you left education? You ask any auto wala, any delivery boy says that, sir, पैसे की problem है. So one of the biggest issues the higher education students, any student will face is paucity of money. Financial, economic is the major issue in higher education. Please understand, education is not only an intellectual activity, but it's economically an important viable path. Unless a country like India where 70-80% of population is below poverty and also kind of thing, we need to solve the higher education and economically. Intellectually, ethically is also important, but economically we cannot. So, working as a tailor, I supported my commerce education, intermediate, BCom and MCom and PhD. When I became an MBA professor, I said that, how come a commerce student required to work as a tailor? Which surprised me like that. If I have really practiced my commerce, there was no need for me to work as a tailor. How difficult for me to work as 2 days, 3 days as a tailor, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and come back on Monday and again attend to the college. You can imagine how to balance these two. If my teachers helped me to make a kind of a living out of my commerce education, some people say that commerce education is Saraswati, should not be done out of money. How come Saraswati? I mean, commerce education is not a Lakshmi. It is Vanijam. It is trading. It is selling. It is debit. It's credit. It is income. It's expenditure. We have lost the soul of commerce. We have lost the soul of business. That's the reason why an MBAs will line up saying that we want jobs. That is the reason why MComs, BComs say that, BBAs say that we want jobs. If BBAs, MComs, BComs, if they practice their subject, they don't require jobs. Anyhow, so I told myself saying that this is not the right way of education. Education should be practiced and it can be made productive. उत्पादकता when बढ़ता है, उद्यमिता उजलता है. Utpadakata, and when you make any activity productive, it becomes Udyami. So, it's not only action, but also a result will also be there out of it like that. So, here I thought I started working on saying that how to make a word as a work so that there is value will come out of it. Word, shabd को अर्थ में कैसा बदलना है. So, when word is converted into work and there is a value pours out of it, and please understand, it's not only manthan amrud nikalta hai, but also wisdom bhi nikalta hai. The proof of wisdom is the amrut. Unless you get amrut out of it, when a farmer is making a irrigation, a kind of thing, he should get the crop. Unless crop is there, the activity of this particular farmer is only an output but not outcome. There is a difference between output and outcome. Output talks about what you did it. Outcome talks about क्या हुआ है. क्या किया है, क्या हुआ है. We want क्या हुआ है will tell about क्या किया है. So, the 4 crore students can be made into application of their information, implementation of the information in real time, instantaneously, so that they get a value out of it. And 4 crore students, if they earn 100 rupees every day, 400 crores are being earned. And 300 days, 400 crores is 12,000 crores are being earned. And 5 trillion economy, 10 trillion economy, we can make it deep tech companies of our commerce minister can be easily made out of it. And these 4 crore students, out of which even 1%, if they become top class entrepreneurs, I think India can become Vishwaguru. This is the path which our top leadership is thinking about it. Higher education should gear up to this level. It should raise to that level, and Innovation Council is working on this. I understood when I looked at your agenda and also your work activity.
What an inspiring story and what a motivational thought, like from micro to macro. I think you have explained it. You mentioned about Saraswati meeting Lakshmi, and as I understand your story, you also talk about 1:12 ratio. So, can you throw some more light on how Saraswati can meet Lakshmi and how a student's and teacher's journey should be there in an educational institute?
Yeah.
So, making education enterprising,
Yeah.
summarizing that thought.
Yeah, for this particular concept, I use Ek Bhattabara Mandi sir. So, Mandi sir is basically any sir, like for that matter, any teacher should be able to look at where he should be able to inculcate a value of Ek Bhattabara. Ek Bhattabara, 1/12, 1/12. The ratio is that if 12 is the outcome, the outgo, there should be at least a 1 and inflow should also be there. So, if you are spending for an education 12 parts, can you make 1 part out of it? Please understand, these are all 20 plus years of age students. They are all Gen Z students. They are all well placed students. They are all well educated students. They are all urban students. They are not in rural areas. So, these students are well equipped, well aware of it, and only thing is we should able to drive them like that. So, 1 by 12 basically tries to tell that if you are able to convert even a 1 out of 12, you are going to become much more viable person. So, this can be done easily. The teacher should be able to drive it, and the teacher's work becomes much simpler. Actually, there can be a kind of a misunderstanding among the teacher that if the student enterprises, their work will increase. No, it will not increase. Actually, it becomes much smarter. Actually, the kind of questions they bring in, the kind of answers will bring in, enrich the students. Today, my students teach me far more than what I taught them. That will be an amazing kind of thing. Can you imagine if you are talking to around 100, 200 companies who are becoming 500 plus crores of companies, how much strength, how much confidence a faculty have it like that. I appeal to these 5 lakh teachers of this higher education where everybody should have a unicorn under their belt. How beautiful it will be, 100 crore company having it like that. The capital, human capital can be converted into capital. It's nothing wrong actually. The human capital is human in the capital who is converting his own capital into a capital. So, if every human capital become a capitalist, this is a country where it is going to be a artificial intelligence. No, everybody has got everything possible for that matter. We should not feel shortage as a good thing to happen. We should have abundance as a good thing to happen. So, everybody, a singer, a dancer, a cook, a driver, everybody will become a capitalist of his own capital. A singer can quote his capital saying that my capital is worth of this much, rather than somebody quoting saying that you only get this much actually. A auto driver can say capitalist saying that my ride is this much worth of it like this. So, it's a possibility for us, the new times with AI, WhatsApp, YouTube, Instagrams. This is no more a ideal, it's going to be a reality. It's no more a utopia, it's a reality, not very far off, and India is set for it and we should be able to drive it. I wish Innovation Council will, with the support, with the kind of guidance of Innovation Council, we can easily make this happen.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for such inspiring thoughts and sharing your journey with us. On the note of abundance, my last question to you is one last message to teachers and students of this country, because we also cater to school teachers and school students now. You might have heard of School Innovation Council also. So, one last message from your side summarizing about the overall abundance in the ecosystem.
Sure. My appeal to the teachers first is that please don't have a kind of a fear that if students get azadi, a freedom, if they are opened up, if they are given freedom to go and get and become what they are capable of it, that's a good thing for the faculty. It's not a bad thing for it like that. And they are capable, especially given this today's technology, the kind of AI which is available to them like that. They don't neglect us, actually they respect us. And every teacher will have a role for it. It's not that only few people will have it. This is what is to be looked at. And it is easy to do it, it's economical to do it, this is kind of thing. Further, even today our gross enrollment ratio is only 30%. Still we should have a 70% ratio is there. Everybody should get Shiksha sabke liye hona hai. Today if I am talking to you only because of education, if I don't have an education, I can't even come into the AST building. I would have been outside the building just looking around it like that. So, Shiksha har ek ke liye zaruri hai. And please understand, there is a talk that too many degrees are being distributed. No, it's not. Everybody requires an education. Why not? And it is the people who don't have an education should say whether they require education or not. It is not the educated who decides others should get educated or not. There is no credential inflation. We require everybody to have, everybody should have oxygen to breathe in. Why not? We don't have any, the abundance is an important kind of thing. Now, some people say that if everybody got a graduation, there is a chaos that there are no jobs. Education has nothing to do with the jobs. Whether jobs are there or not, we should have an education first. And education can be imparted, can be developed in such a way that there is no need for jobs. If we can prepare people for the jobs, we can also prepare for the people for no job situation. It's only a matter of design. हम ऐसा कर सकता है तो हम ऐसा भी कर सकता है. We created 100% people for jobs. We can create 100% people for no jobs. This can be kind of thing. This is for the appeal to the teachers. So these two things. A third thing which for the students I say, my dear friends, you are future of India. Bharat ka bhavishya hai aap. You are there the best of the times. Amazing technologies are available to you. Whether your teachers like it or not, whether your parents are supporting you or not, we know that you take your own path. We have seen youth will take their own path. Appeal to the youth that get educated in such a way that you don't require jobs. This path is available today. Only thing is go to the market, apply it, get पढ़ाई की खर्चा पढ़ाई में पढ़ाई से पढ़ाई के लिए निकालो, बेच के सीखो, सिखाई बेच के सीखो, sell, learn and think. This can be an amazing kind of thing. With the teacher support or not, you can go on your own. I'm sure my colleagues will understand. With the support of Innovation Council, all these 5 lakh gang of teachers will be made to listen to you, looking for the betterment of you. And this is not too far off. Atmanirbhar Bharat abhi hai, aane wala hai, and we can make this possible given the technology, given the kind of amazing kind of times we are in.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I think after listening to this inspiring talk, we will have across country, we will have Ek Bhatta Bara Mandi, sir. I think that impact, whether they wear this kind of cap or not, I think the impact will be Ek Bhatta Bara Mandi, sir. And the lean startup cycle, which we keep talking about, build, measure, learn. I think you added a new word to it. Okay, build, measure, learn, sell, again and again build. I think that is what will be a great takeaway for me also. Thank you so much for joining us. So everyone, thank you so much for your patience and listening to us. We had Mandi sir today with us. Keep connected to MIC and AICTE Udyam Charcha. Thank you so much, one and all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.